Content warning, y'all. We have lots of fun making this podcast, but remember, we watch a lot of R-rated films, use language that reflects that, and joke about heavy topics to create levity around these themes. If that doesn't feel safe or could be triggering, please take care of yourself. We want you to have fun listening too. This also means we might not be suitable for children. Oh yeah, and we spoil the end of all the movies we pod about. Thanks for listening. Momma from the train, a kiss.
Hot Tanya boy.
In listening in the past.
Hi, I'm Keith.
Oh, hi, I'm Z. And we're rolling. This is our podcast.
That's what this meant. You thought it meant
wrap it up. But yesterday I spent a lot of time just listening to our podcast.
Thanks.
And I do a lot of talking. And in almost
Thankfully, because if you didn't, I would say I would give the credits and say 2 sentences about plot, and that would be it.
I also apparently cannot go a single episode without speaking about Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I mean that's really.
And basically,
I think we established on the first episode that this is a Keaton Stan pod.
I just
Stan Keaton pod. No, right? Why? Not everything has to be a portmanteau. Fuck. It's not their early aughts anymore.
This episode we're going to discuss the film.
Spoiler, we're going to talk about a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to talk about Throw Momma from the Train. So if you've not seen Throw Momma from the Train, you don't want us to totally ruin it for you, because we absolutely will. We don't give a shit about spoilers. We're just going to say everything that happens in a movie. If you want to see it before we spoil it for you, then you can pause this and go watch it.
Go
and then
piss up a rope.
And then you can, once you're done watching the movie, you can immediately push play again, and then we'll
Thank you for being very explicit. Yeah. We got some feedback on a previous episode.
Yeah. My language shall henceforth change to order you to pause and then start again.
Throw Momma from the Train.
Yeah, Throw Momma from the Train.
I can write down what year it is.
1987. It's 1987. It stars Danny DeVito, who also directs it.
Yeah.
I had a mouthful of food when the director's credits came up, and I said, "Oh, rip!" Because I didn't know. I honestly didn't know he did
going in
directing, like in that.
Yeah, I think he's done a few.
But I mean, like, it wouldn't surprise me.
I didn't know he directed himself.
Exactly. I didn't know he directed himself, and I didn't know it went as far back as 1987. Yeah, right. So I was like, whoa. That very much
and to his credit, I feel like the movie looks really good.
Oh my god,
I love a lot of the shots.
I love the way the movie looks. That was something that I was like, holy shit, this is like, I really liked visually what I got from it. It also stars Billy Crystal.
Yep.
Who should have? I'm sorry, we mentioned this during watching it. It should have been Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
It should have been Michael Keaton, because it would have been a lot funnier.
Guys, it should have been Michael Keaton.
I will say this about most movies that we watch. It should have been Michael Keaton.
I just think
I mean, like, could you imagine? I mean, I can.
That's why.
I can.
Yeah, Billy Crystal, admittedly never a huge fan. Never really understood why he was considered funny.
Yeah.
I feel like he's
Just
someone
a-
that was
I feel like he's kind of like tropey, you know?
very.
Yeah, that's, he's cool with playing a trope.
Yeah.
So he's like, so people are like, Billy Crystal,
He
hilarious guy.
The thing that kind of brought him to attention, I think, was being on Soap,
Oh, the
the television show called Soap,
Never seen
which
it.
a lot of episodes were written by the person who wrote this movie,
Oh.
Stu Silver.
Oh.
Stu Silver also created a little show called Webster,
Oh, wow.
starring Emmanuel Lewis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he wrote like the first few seasons of a show called Brothers, which I only caught. Yeah, it was on in the mid to late 80s. It's about three brothers, two of whom are like very conservative, and the third, who I think is the youngest, comes out as gay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. The movie also stars.
I'm gonna go off stand for this.
I go, oh shit! It's got Kate Mulgrew.
Can do some crowd work.
Kate Mulgrew and Anne Ramsey. Oh shit! That's gonna come through loud.
You're gonna come through loud.
Kate Mulgrew and Anne Ramsey.
Mulgrew.
Yeah, I was very excited about that. I had no idea.
Yeah, none.
Oh god,
she's great in it. Also,
she's
playing
my god,
Billy Crystal's
horrible,
successful,
slutty ex-wife. Oh my god! Immediately, I said, so it's set up to where like Kate Mulgrew is like villainized immediately, and I wrote down immediately. I sympathize with Kate Mulgrew and don't care about Billy Crystal.
Oh, 100%.
Like because it's established that he wrote a book that she left him and stole from him, supposedly stole the idea or whatever, and then got it published, and now she's like a bestseller, and he's like, she stole my book, she's a slut, I hate her, I wish she were dead, and all this stuff. But he's just like, she's, it's one of those things where it's like, honey, why didn't you just publish it then? Like, if you wrote this, whatever. Anyway, but also LOL at the idea of a woman stealing work from a white man. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Right. I fully believe that a man had his work stolen. Not by another man. Like, if it was another dude, I'd be like, oh.
Right.
But a woman stealing a man's work? No, I don't believe it. Anyway.
Bitches be stealing. Also, the novel is that her best-selling novel is called Hot Fire, which I found amusing.
Yeah. The movie opens basically with Billy Crystal at the typewriter, and it's like just like this very long scene of him like trying to write and like,
trying to write the first sentence,
typing, and then getting frustrated and like pulling the paper out and throwing it. And I'm like, oh my god, this is a thing you will never ever ever see in movies ever again. Typewriters, to show frustration, to like visceral, how will you know this person can't write if you don't see them ripping the paper?
Well, unless it's a movie based on a Stephen King book. I feel like they still do that.
Right? How come? Hey, mister, how come you still use a typewriter? The year is 2021. I'm unique, and I also murder people in my basement. Typewriters don't leave a trail, unless it's the movie.
Oh, unless you're Jack Forrester.
Unless it's the movie Jagged Edge.
I didn't realize. I mean, I had saw this. I had saw this film before as a younger person. That's redundant. I don't need to say that part. Probably in the 90s is when I saw it. So I was. Anyway, point being, I didn't realize that it's mainly a rip-off of, or a retelling of Strangers on a Train.
Yeah.
Which they make quite clear.
Very, very explicit.
So.
But it's, what I like about it is, I mean, I guessed it pretty often. So, like, basically the premise of if you've never seen.
Either.
If you've never seen Strangers on a Plane, Train, and Automobile.
Perfect Strangers on Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
If you've never seen Strangers...
Don't be ridiculous.
If you've never seen that or this, if you've never seen Stranger on a Train or Throw Mama from the Train, the plot of the movie is basically that Danny DeVito lives with his mother, who's played by Anne Ramsey, who's just like really mean to him, smacks him around, and is just like he's an adult. To clarify, right. He's a grown up. But she's very.
This isn't Clifford. Where
yeah, right.
Danny DeVito's playing a 10-year-old
child. Yeah. So she's.
Yeah, she's also super paranoid that he's gonna send her away.
She basically like is very domineering. It's one of those things where like she's clearly like not like kind of homebound. She doesn't.
Seems like there may be some dementia or
like she's
other
she can't,
issues.
Yeah. I mean, it's terrible because like during like I don't even think I kept reading the IMDb trivia because it was all just like, Anne Ramsey was fucking dying while she was making it. I'm like, oh, stop. She had throat surgery multiple times. I'm like, okay, I know, it's really sad. I don't want to read about it. It was just so sad. I was like, oh, I can't read this. It's just like repeatedly being like, Anne Ramsey was in extreme pain while filming. I'm like, oh, sorry. But like, she got a lot of is basically her most critically acclaimed role that she did. Yeah, she got nominated for an Oscar for it. But which she didn't win. Come on. Anyway. So she's actually great in it.
Wait, are you going to talk about Strangers on the Train?
Yeah. I was just saying she's great in it, but that's all I was going to say.
That was your segue.
That
Sorry.
was literally. But
wait, hold on. Do you want to go back and do a different segue? So she's the mother. She's domineering. And then Kate Mulgrew is Billy Crystal's ex-wife who left him and has a way better life without him. Weird. And he hates her. So, and Billy Crystal plays a writer who teaches a creative writing class, basically like a night school or whatever kind of thing, at the community college. And Danny DeVito is one of his students. So Danny DeVito is a really bad writer, and he keeps trying to write a murder mystery. And so in trying to direct Danny DeVito in like how to basically write a murder mystery, he inadvertently gives him the idea to kill his wife, like basically to kill his ex-wife. Basically, like, so Stranger on a Train is basically like two people who don't know each other, both have people in their lives that they need taken care of. Also, both women.
No, I don't think so. One of them is like his
the guy's
dad.
Yeah, but the other one's the guy's wife,
Maybe.
Right?
I don't know. I've never seen it. So they both agree. They both agree to like kill each other's. In Strangers on a Train, they both agree to kill each other's. The person each other is.
Crisscross.
So
crisscross.
Yeah. So that like.
I'll make you jump.
So they don't have. They have like an alibi, and if they
no motive is the
basically. So Billy Crystal talks about this, like he's like, go see a Hitchcock film, like think about, he's like,
just general advice about
he's like, so Danny DeVito's like, great, you hate your wife, I hate my mom. So Danny DeVito just decides,
happens to see Strangers on the Train happens to be showing.
Right. But Danny DeVito just decides, he just like goes to Hawaii and what we think is murders Billy Crystal.
He goes to Hawaii with the explicit intention of
to murder Kate Mulgrew. And he, from our perspective, he pushes her off of a boat. So we don't actually see her die, but
this is actually what the Phil Collins song "In the Air Tonight."
So
guilty.
So then Danny DeVito. That one's for Benny. So Danny DeVito then tells Billy Crystal, I killed your wife, so now you have to kill my mom. And then Billy Crystal's like, God damn it, I never asked you to do this. And it's this whole thing where like after that, then it really like amps up, and it's just like Danny DeVito trying to convince Billy Crystal to kill his mom, and then them both trying to kill his mom, and it's this whole thing, and it just doesn't work out at all. But it's really, and it ends up in the end to where
it has a fucking happy ending, and no one has been murdered.
Yeah, Kate Mulgrew's like, oh, I fell off the boat. Like Danny DeVito didn't actually push her; she just actually slipped and fell off the boat. At least from her perspective, I don't know if he, but she gets rescued and everything's fine, and like no one did anything at all. So, but that it's a lot of things happen in the movie though, like
such as no, I wanted to say that when Danny DeVito first calls him for Hawaii.
Oh God, the scene with all the phones.
He calls it.
Oh, he says he doesn't want the phone to get traced.
So what you see is this quick succession of shots of Danny DeVito at a different payphone, seemingly away from anything else in the previous scene.
But it's so overtly, ridiculously
it's great.
Changes scene. Like it's not just a different payphone; it's like a completely different payphone.
It's like the first one he's in town, and then the next one he's on a green pasture with a horse behind him, and then the next one he's at a payphone with shaped like a pineapple,
and then like with a cliff behind him, and like then it's like he's just in like there's so many different,
and he's literally just like calling Billy Crystal, saying like a sentence, then hanging up and calling him right back. It's really good.
It's pretty amazing.
That was funny. Not so funny is the car business.
Oh, that was just weird.
Yeah,
that was so weird.
Wait, real quick. Real quick.
We've gotten ahead. I feel like in telling the entire movie, I'm like, oh, I got ahead of myself there.
Exactly.
There's actually a whole movie to talk about.
Right. Let me do some more credits for the rest of the cast.
Okay.
Because, first of all, we didn't. If you don't know who Anne Ramsey is,
oh yeah,
she was also in The Goonies.
Yeah.
And that's all I know.
I know. I don't think I've seen her in anything else. She's been in a lot of other stuff, but just I think it was like, oh, she passed away.
Right after this.
Yeah, like in 1988, like literally like exactly 9 months after the movie came out, she passed away. It's so unfortunate, honestly, to read about, like because like basically this like likely would have launched her career. But she was like like during filming she had throat cancer, so she had to have like surgery, and like parts of her jaw and tongue had to be removed, so her speech is very impaired in this film, which I think is kind of beautiful that they didn't try to hide that.
Right.
They didn't try to hide it. They didn't make fun of it. They're not mocking it. It's just presented very straightforward. There's no part where they like dub her over with someone else's voice or anything. They don't do anything to hide it. And I think like that's honestly like I appreciate that level of like honesty in the sense of like you can not just as a character but as an actor, like, oh, you are disabled and we're not going to pretend that you're not, or we're not going to hire someone that isn't and have them pretend to sound like you or something. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it's something that like doesn't get done often enough. But also during the filming of the movie, she also was continuing with surgeries. So she was just basically suffering and in constant pain. And then the movie came out and she was nominated for an Oscar. She didn't win, but which I think is sad. But she passed away like not very long after. It's
I wonder
so fucking sad.
I wonder who won the Oscar, and wouldn't you be? I hope that person's ridden with guilt.
I mean, it could be something where like riddled. Ridden.
What did I say?
I hope they ride a horse down the road while yelling guilt.
What did I say in the? I said crutch in an earlier episode when I meant crux.
You said the crutch of a movie.
The moral crutch of the Dark Knight Rises, I think is what it was.
The crutch of the movie.
Anyway, uh,
hmm
Billy Crystal's character has a neighbor.
Oh God, yeah.
They
Yes.
and they both have bad boundaries, by the way. But
Yeah. They just
his name is
basically
Lester,
walk into
and he's
each other.
played by Branford Marsalis, jazz musician.
Oh shit! But also, oh man, the one scene. So both
He's great in it.
both the neighbor and Billy Crystal, like they just walk into each other's apartment like without knocking or
Yeah.
anything like that. They just like come in and just like make themselves at home, which
Right.
I love. I think that's hilarious. But and they do it to each other. Like it's
Yeah.
established the neighbor does it first, and then Crystal does it to him, and they're both just like whatever, I don't care. Which I kind of like that. But the neighbors,
Except-
the neighbor's apartment, like they live in the same apartment complex. The neighbor's apartment is vastly superior. Like
he's just better decorator.
Right. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Cool shit. Like Billy Crystal just looks like a sad person. Like his everything is
Which
beige.
he is.
I mean, he's like a white dude. And everything is just beige in his apartment. But like his neighbor is like this, like, just like the bed sheets. Oh, or like the duvet or whatever. It was like teal, and then like hot pink on the other side. Oh my god, it was so amazing. It was gorgeous. I was like, I want to go to that apartment and live there.
Well, when Billy Crystal busts in the Lesters and he's in bed with somebody,
But I like it because
she gets involved.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, I have, because he's like, oh my god, I need an alibi for not having killed my wife, and the girl's like, okay, well, here's the thing, like you don't actually have, like they're like breaking down like how because he's like, say I was here till 1 p.m. and she's like, well, technically, even if you were here till 1 p.m. or like 1 or o'clock or whatever, I don't know if it's a.m. or p.m. And she's like, you could have caught the 3 p.m.
right.
o'clock and
Flights
been there by 5,
Hawaii,
and then
Right.
she's like, here, let me get the like the flight like manifest or whatever
Right.
out, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
she's like has a flight schedule somehow. Ms. Gladstone is name because he has a line. Lester has the line of like, what is it? Now I'm here with Ms. Gladstone. Anyway, it's funny, guys.
it is.
But Ms. Gladstone is played by Olivia Brown, who was on Miami Vice.
Oh
She
shit,
was
yeah.
a regular on Miami.
So I don't know exactly what I know her from, but I was like, oh my god, I recognize her.
Totally.
Absolutely.
There's a guy in Billy Crystal's class called Pinsky, who's this. His project that he's working on for the class is a coffee table book called "Women I'd Like to Pork."
No, 100 girls I'd like to pork.
I stand corrected.
Fun fact about this. Okay. Also, like each like chapter or whatever is just like another person.
Yeah.
But one of them is just the girl in the taco commercial.
Yeah.
But here was some trivia about that I think you'll all find interesting.
That girl was
No, the trivia about the book. I didn't see this in the movie. I like want to rewatch the scene because I did not catch this. But when he says pork, it's very clearly dubbed over. So like yeah. So it was like the line was likely 100 girls I'd like to fuck. But because you can't use the fuck word in relation to sex and have it be a PG-13 film,
right.
They dubbed it over so it says pork. So it's like fair. They're like it was
pork is way funnier.
Yeah, I think pork is funnier. I think if it was fuck, the movie would just have a different tone.
Absolutely.
But I do like when Billy Crystal is talking to his girlfriend like at lunch, and the guy's like, the guy that
what's
wrote,
your name?
quote unquote, the book 100 Girls I'd Like to Pork. He's like, hey, what's your name? And Billy Crystal's like, no. And he's like, I just want to know what your name is. And she tells him, and he's like, okay. And he's like, don't. But it was mostly like the look on Billy Crystal's face that was just like, I fucking hate you so much. That sold that. I want to say
Wait, that the guy that plays Pinsky is Ray Burke.
Okay, he looked familiar.
He's very familiar. Yeah, he's been
I
in a bunch of shit.
I want to say I forgot about this. I wrote this little banter between us. You said, what's the last thing I saw Billy Crystal in? And I said, Golden Globes. And you said, no, he was in a movie I saw on a plane.
That's right. That movie was not called Golden Globes.
No, I was on a plane and I saw him in a movie. That's like probably like at least like 7 years ago or something. That you
Oh,
were
yeah,
on a
yeah.
plane. That's hilarious.
I haven't been on a plane in.
A long ass time.
Yep.
A couple things I want to say. First of all, like in
Sorry, I'll pipe down.
you keep it down over there. I floral on floral on floral because
that's your gender.
house, well, yes, but the you've tested our mic, and I was just like, oh my god, I haven't turned my mic on. I just had like this moment of panic. Anyway, in the house that Danny DeVito lives in with his mom, it's just like everything is floral, and it's just like, oh, I fucking love that. I love the like, cause like the carpet is just like ridiculous floral pattern, and then the like wallpaper is floral, and there's just like, I think, yeah, I loved the look of it. It was a specific look of the thing. Also, Danny DeVito looks like a child. Like he just has he looks like a kid, like facially. And like I feel like I wrote down he looked like a little kid until he started he's Frank on Always Sunny. And I feel like at that point he stopped looking like a little kid. Up until then, he just looked like a little kid. Oh my god. Let me just say though, the scene with the coins, I almost fucking cried. Also, apparently Danny DeVito put that in because he said, like, he had the writer put that scene in because he said that's how when he was showing like Friends stuff as a kid, like that's how he was. And so he really wanted that scene to be in there, so the writer put it in there because like Danny DeVito was basically like, this was me as a kid, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah, so basically the scene with the coins is just like Danny DeVito says,
like, you want to see my coin collection?
Oh my god. And then he just starts, which is funny at first. He starts, he's like, here's a nickel and another nickel, and here's a quarter and a penny and another nickel. And like Billy Crystal's like, what the hell? He's like, are these valuable? And he's like, no. And he's like, why do you have them? And then he's like, this is the nickel I got in change when my dad and I went to the like circus, and this is the quarter I got when we went to the movies, and he just basically saved all of the change he got when he was a kid from his dad, but he remembers what specific thing. And I was like, oh my god, this is so heartbreaking. And he does it, and it's honestly done so childlike too.
Yeah.
That's why it like, he's like, my daddy got me this. I'm like, stop. It was so sweet. I was literally like, don't cry. Don't cry. Don't. It was so, oh my god.
That's why I didn't really like it.
Oh, right.
Because I don't like to feel things.
Keith hates things in movies.
But I felt like it was kind of just shoehorned in there.
Right. Well, I mean, yes, it was. Because Danny DeVito was like, this was me as a kid. I want this to be in there. Yeah. I thought it was really sweet.
No, it's sweet, but I'm angry that it made me feel things without reason.
When Anne Ramsey says, you clumsy poop. So good.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, she apparently has a bad heart, and
oh my god,
Danny DeVito says you can just scare her, like to death.
Yeah.
She falls asleep, and then
Larry, you're alive. You killed her. Holy shit! What a dream I was having! Louis Armstrong was trying to kill me! Mrs. Lift? Get away from me, you horse's ass!
While she's asleep, and then she woke up and she's like, oh, I had the weirdest dream. Louis Armstrong was trying to kill me.
Her eyes in that, I was like, how did her eye, like while he's playing the trumpet, no, as he's playing the
trumpet,
the trumpet in her ear. Like, I know that they like probably sped up the film, but still, I was like, how does anyone, even slowly, how do your eyes move like that? Like, I was very like, what a talent! I have no idea. Like, it's just like they were going in so many different directions at once.
I don't remember that.
It was. I was like, what the fuck? So also, and back to the class that Billy Crystal's character teaches in.
Yes.
The part where like the woman.
Yes.
And
Yes.
she would just like she did not have good descriptions for. So she
I
was
love it.
I fucking died. But it's like we made the joke that it was E.L. James.
Yeah. Because she's describing like.
And she's like mundane stuff. She's like his, like I don't know. She just can't.
I think
find
the scene
words.
is on a submarine, and then
Yeah.
he's like, "Johnny, push the thing that makes the weapon go."
Like she doesn't have words for like important things, but describes like inconsequential shit. And I'm like, oh my god, it's literally E.L. James.
When you're writing a novel that takes place on a submarine, it's not a bad idea to know the name of the instrument that the captain speaks through.
I used to know that.
And your similes need a little bit of work. His guts oozed nice like a melted malted. Well, it's a little...
Too harsh?
a tad.
Which we just to put this out there, we recently watched a lukewarm defense of 50 Shades of Grey by, is it Folding Ideas? Yeah. On YouTube. If you are like me and want to watch like 3 hours worth of talking about the problematic.
He's got 3 different videos for one for each film, right?
Basically, yeah. The first one I think is like over an hour long. The
Yes.
second one is almost an hour long, and the third one is like 45 minutes. So altogether, it's pretty much 3 hours. But yeah, it's a very in-depth look at the problems of the film, but
As a
also-
film.
yeah, and of the writing, but also like where it comes from and the fan fiction.
Yeah, man,
that it
I
was
had no
written from.
idea.
Oh yeah, oh man, it's beautiful. Like I knew it was from fan fiction.
I
but
recommend
didn't know.
that YouTube channel.
Oh
overall.
yeah, it's really
He
good.
does some real deep dives on films, and
But yeah, it's such a deep dive, and
he's got one on Suicide Squad and how it's a nightmare of editing.
it really is. It really is. Oh god, we should rewatch that one.
He's got one on flat eartherism.
Oh, the Flat Earthers one is really good. But yeah, I recommend that channel, but also the 50 Shades of Grey, and then watch Throw Mama from the Train and that one
What?
30-second scene of this woman.
Before you watch this film, before you watch this 90-minute film, go and watch 3 hours of YouTube about a different series of films based on books. Come back
So you can get
so you can have the same idea we had about this 10-second scene. And
yeah. Okay.
I don't think that's too much to ask.
I don't think I'm asking it. I think I'm requesting it, and I think I'm demanding it. I don't think I'm asking though.
You pointed out that Kate Mulgrew's place has a lot of Asian art,
Oh god. Yeah.
and she wears kimonos like she's freaking Glenn Close and Jagged Edge hanging out with Jack Forrester.
Oh god.
Kimonos!
So there's a scene where Billy Crystal and his girlfriend in the movie, who's I can't remember what her name is, but she's the person from Manhunter.
Oh, she plays
She plays what's
his
her name?
wife?
Yeah.
that character who
Yeah.
I just yesterday said I just want to call them Hugh Dancy.
Will Graham.
Will Graham.
Will Graham's partner.
Kim
But
Greased.
She her IMDb photo though, it looks like it was like a photo from her audition for what's it called? Color of Night.
She in that too?
No, but it looks like she auditioned for the role of like Andy or whatever whatever Rose's alternate was.
Don't spoil that movie yet.
Oh, I'll spoil that movie.
Yet.
But they're like on a train
Oh my god.
Right? Like, I don't
I see
understand.
what you mean.
Yeah, it's very confusing. I don't know. I mean, like,
It's very gender confusing.
yeah, yes. Which, like, no shame in that. Yes.
No.
But also, what? It just doesn't look like anything I've ever seen her in ever. So that's why it's confusing to me. Is it just looks like
I will never recognize her,
Right.
probably.
so anyway, her and
Oh shit, she's in House Guest, which I really want us to watch.
oh yeah. Mhm.
With Sinbad and
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Phil Hartman.
She and Billy
Sorry.
Crystal are on a child's train in like a park or something, and she's trying to convince him to like have like public sex with her, which is very also confusing.
Yeah,
but
on
she
this
keeps
little-
calling it dating. She's like, "Do you want to date?" And he's like, "At some point in the future," which I'm like, "Okay, ugh, I get it. Whatever. What are you talking about?" But he says like we have compatible body parts
Uh-huh.
to imply like they could have sex, but he doesn't want to. But like I'm like, everyone has compatible body parts, you dumbass. Like everyone has fingers and things to put
Not
fingers
everyone
in.
has fingers.
Oh, that's true. No, that's
Wow.
true. That's true. That's true. That's true. I'm sorry. That was insensitive of me. But what I mean is, everyone, you can have sex. Anyone can have sex, even if you don't have fingers. You can have sex.
Thank you.
Like you don't have to have a penis and a vagina to have sex with each other, and that doesn't mean compatible parts. You dumbass. Anyway, I hate that shit. I hate that shit mostly because it's like it's an invalidation of a lot of gay sex I've had.
You personally.
A lot of.
A lot of the gay section, not all of it. Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Oh, also like the girlfriend's an anthropologist. So like her house is just like that like weird generic like quote unquote African art that like
What's the scene when
might-
he busts into her house and she's like
Oh
mimicking
god, yeah, like oh I
some
don't-
kind of presumably ritual dance
yeah,
that a
that's-
dark-skinned person is doing on the TV?
Yeah. I'm just like, what are you? What? And that's not anthropology. I mean, that's just being a white woman, but like, so kind of accurate. But like, yeah, it was very weird.
But this puts her in a long line of anthropologists such as
Well, clearly,
what's her name from The Relic and Mary Albright from Third Rock.
Clearly, he has a type that he just likes women who appropriate other cultures. Because Kate Mulgrew has just like, yeah.
Oh, what else?
Oh, also, ew. Oh God. Oh man, the scene where Danny DeVito cooks some eggs. I just was like, I want eggs so bad.
Oh.
I miss eggs. I can't eat eggs because I'm allergic. I have to say this like every couple months because people forget that I'm allergic to eggs, except for Keith because he lives with me. And also we're in a relationship. Spoiler. But yeah, I can't eat eggs because they just tear me apart. But when I see, usually like when I see in TV like eggs cooked, they look awful or
Yes.
they just don't look appealing. But the way that they look in this movie, I was like, oh my god, I can taste them. They look so good. Oh,
He put onions in the eggs.
I don't know if they say onions. Like he puts like ham and pepper. I don't know, whatever.
He does,
This
but
is a
like,
quote from Uncle Buck, by the way. We're talking about Uncle Buck, right?
yeah,
Okay.
you're right. There's the thing where Billy Crystal's character borrows neighbor Lester's car, which is an old Saab,
Oh God.
which is a pretty cool looking car. But then the brakes go out?
Right. Which doesn't get explained or anything.
No, it seems unrelated. Just
It's
an old car,
very-
I guess.
Yeah, very confusing.
But they use a technique where they speed up the film so it looks like an old silent film.
Yeah, it's like the car's just like wee.
I did not appreciate that.
No, it was Yeah.
I guess it might have been funny
Mm,
in the 80s, but
mm, mm. Also, when Danny DeVito is trying to convince Billy Crystal to kill his mom, and Billy Crystal, like, they're like, it's a bunch of stuff has happened between, the first initial thing, and like Billy Crystal's hiding from the cops because they think his wife is dead and they think he did it because of all the things Danny DeVito did that would incriminate Billy Crystal.
Right.
Like buy a plane ticket in Billy Crystal's name.
Right.
Just a horrible, stupid, fucked up shit. Anyway.
my favorite is like Kate Mulgrew falls off the boat because she drops an earring
Yeah.
over the rail. It's still
Mhm.
on the boat somehow, but she's bending over the railing to
Yeah.
try to reach her
Mhm.
earring stud. And when Danny DeVito first gets back to the mainland and looks at Billy Crystal, he like gives it that earring to him.
He's like, here's her earring that I got. And he's like, what the fuck? Also, I like when he calls him initially to tell him what happened. He's like, I did it. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, I just want to let you know I did it. Yeah. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I can't say anything. All I can tell you is that I killed your wife. And he hangs up, and he's like, what? Or he's like, I don't want to say anything to incriminate myself over the phone. I just want to let you know I killed your wife. Honestly, if it was anyone but
Dumb
Danny
joke,
DeVito,
but
I don't think this movie would have done. I think it would have been like really weird. Danny DeVito's just really. I mean, like he directed it, obviously, so that's something. But like, I think if it was Billy, I think if it wasn't Danny DeVito, it would not be funny.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if Michael Keaton had been in it instead of Billy Crystal, then who cares? But like, also, but yeah.
I mean, Billy Crystal was a much hotter property in 1987
than Batman. Then gonna be Batman in a year. Michael Keaton, Mr. Mom.
Well, Bat fans care that Batman is also Mr. Mom.
But Billy Crystal mutters, I graduated from Yale, as like a way to like dismiss his own like criminality or something, or like his. I'm like, I'm sorry, if you went to Yale, so I'm gonna think you're less of a criminal than if you didn't. No, that's no. A white dude from Yale, no, you're vastly more capable of criminal behavior.
And vastly more likely to get away with it.
Exactly, right. I
mean, it's Yale. It's Yale, not Harvard. I don't know. Anything else? I don't think I have much more.
I do have a couple of things, but basically, I just wanted. I can't remember what I was gonna say. Right before you said that, I had something that I wanted to say, and then you asked me that, and I'm
You're
like,
welcome.
And the way it ends with them on the beach.
Oh,
and
yeah.
How they're all like, oh, beach vacation. I like the beach. I enjoy the beach. But the idea of vacationing on a beach sounds disgusting to me. I don't want to vacation there.
Meaning what?
What do you mean, meaning what?
What does vacationing mean in this?
Because it ends with them going on a beach vacation. And I'm like, ew. Like, I don't want to stay on a beach. I don't want to be stuck
They
on
probably
a beach.
have a hotel room.
Oh, I know that. I don't think they're camping on the beach.
This is what I'm saying. What do you mean?
I'm saying I don't want to be on a beach for like a week.
It's the only thing to do.
Whatever. Oh God, yeah. Like with the, like sitting out and tanning in the middle, like it's great. Like I like beaches at night.
That's when they're the most dangerous.
I know, but it's also when they it's just so nice. I stayed at a beach hotel one time overnight with some family. It was not an enjoyable experience.
Weird.
For multiple reasons. Only one of which being that I literally had the flu at the time. So I was just barely able to sleep. Anyway, yeah, it was, but we went to the beach at night and it was really nice. It was really nice just to.
Did anyone have sex?
No.
On the sand / in the water?
Considering I said I was there with my family.
Oh, no, I didn't mean anybody in your party necessarily.
now. Not that I know of. They might have, but I mean, I didn't witness it myself. Also, the end. So Danny DeVito directed this.
Right.
And the very end, they just start basically like fat shaming Danny DeVito and talking about
It's not
how
they.
he's like
It's just Billy Crystal
Well, yeah, but like
making fat jokes as Danny DeVito gets in the water.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, it's a whale. I don't fucking know. He's
Yeah.
just saying all that. I'm like,
It's real dumb shit.
Why? I don't understand why. What? Like, I don't know. I mean, like, to me, like, fat jokes are so annoying to me, and I don't understand them, and I don't get the point. I don't understand. Like, they're so. I don't like saying lazy because I feel like that's kind of not even the issue. It's like it's what you do when you don't know what funny is. It's what you do because you think it'll make people laugh, but you don't actually know how to make people laugh. That's what I feel about fat jokes.
Yep.
It's like, oh, we'll make fun of a body type that is considered abnormal. That's actually quite
anything
normal.
about somebody's appearance.
And it's just like, ugh, I hate it. But like the way that it ended that way, and I'm like, Danny DeVito, you're the director. You could have been like, let's cut all this stuff about how ugly I am out of the end. Like, don't need it. I mean, no movie ever needs that shit. But also, I'm like, you wait until the end when everything's been resolved.
I think he left it in just to make Billy Crystal look like an asshole.
Well, I mean, that's not hard to do.
No, exactly. I want to say, so we have this coda prior to the, or I should say the coda starts with, a year has passed.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito shows up, or calls Billy Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out he's just outside. And they're Billy Crystal's like, fine, they're buds now.
Yeah.
Because the years passed.
After they didn't kill anyone together, then
right.
They're basically.
Meanwhile, Billy Crystal has written a book
about everyone's.
About their experience.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito shows up and he's like, I'm in town because I'm going to get the book published. I wrote a book about our experiences. And Billy Crystal's like, oh no, not another 9/11. Because, he thinks the same, that he sees it as.
Yeah, betrayal or whatever. He thinks that.
Another book has been stolen from him.
Yeah.
So he starts attacking Danny DeVito. Turns out he's just written a pop-up book version of attempted murder plot.
Right.
Anyway, I made the joke that the book Billy Crystal was writing was If I Did It by O.J. Simpson.
Oh my God, I forgot that you made that horrible joke. But
You're welcome.
It's oh God.
Point being, like, what book are you writing?
But that's the thing. It's like we're
What
gonna
is this,
try to
Basic
kill
Instinct?
someone. We both were gonna try to murder someone, and then we didn't. Also, I like how the book, like the cover of the book, is clearly Billy Crystal and Anne Ramsey, and like the shadow of like Danny DeVito's head behind them.
Okay.
And I'm just like, did you ask them? Because it hasn't been like, yeah, like it hadn't been published yet when Danny DeVito comes to his place.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, oh yeah, my mom died.
Oh, and he's already got cover image for it.
Yeah, and he's like, it's like the cover image is like Anne Ramsey, and I'm like,
He doesn't even have a deal for the book yet,
yeah.
and somehow it has cover art.
Like, what?
The jacket's been designed.
What's going on here? Yeah, but also it's like the three of you, but it's like very clearly the three of them. While it's a book about them trying to murder people, about like them, and then it's just like, what is this supposed to be like? Not you? Are you not gonna get in trouble for that? That's what I mean, though. Like, clearly the cover is all three of you who are real people about how you tried to kill someone.
Also a real person.
Who's a real person. And you're just like, chill. It's chill? What? I don't.
Exactly. That's
Well, I guess he's from Yale, so.
It's the perfect alibi.
Good lord. But yeah, basically what I took away from this film is that Danny DeVito is a pretty good director.
Yeah.
Billy Crystal is not very funny even after all this time, even after growing up. And Anne Ramsey deserves an Oscar.
At least.
Yeah.
Maybe a star on the Walk of Fame.
Right. Something.
I don't know that she doesn't have one, but
Yeah. I mean either. But yeah, that's my takeaway. Also that you can stop writing white women this way.
yeah.
Please.
You can also stop writing white people getting away with murder.
I do want to say this. I really, really liked how bad everyone is at writing in this.
Yeah, that's
like,
some of the funniest.
Yeah, like Danny DeVito's right. It's just like, what is it like? Like
A murder at my friend Harry's house or something like that?
It's like the name, and like he's like your book is, or he's like your story's terrible, and he's like, why is it terrible? And he's like, it's 3 pages long. He's like, okay, what's bad about that? And he's like,
there's 2 characters, and one of them dies on the first page.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, and he's like, I immediately knew who did it. And he's like, how? And he's like, there's 2 characters, and the first one dies immediately. Yeah, I just liked how, oh god, but I will say the scene where Billy Crystal is trying to write and like the opener, and he's like, it was
The night is moist.
yeah, the night was humid or whatever, and he's like, or he's trying, he finally settles on the night was humid. And that's all he gets, but he's been trying so hard just to get that first line. So he gets it, and then in class the next day, Danny DeVito is like, here, read my story. And he opens it up, and the first line is, the night was humid, and he's like, class dismissed, I have a headache in my eyeball.
Oh, yeah.
And he just like runs home. And he's like so fucking pissed. That's so accurate. It's all he reads. He opens it up. The night was humid. He's like, okay, class dismissed. I have a headache in my eyeball.
Yeah. That's why I could never teach.
God, I love it. But yeah, I can imagine. I was thinking about like what must, and I don't say this like if you're a teacher you suck at something, like that's not how I mean it, but I wonder how, because clearly other people, whether it's accurate or not, like your perception of something, you know, so like you can be like, okay, I wrote this thing, and someone else can write something, and whether it's actually better or not, or it's just different, you can read it, you know, and think, oh, this is so much better than what I did. So I wonder how it is to be like a teacher of like writing, when you want to write and like seeing stuff that you consider, whether it is or not, is neither here nor there, but that you consider like better than what you put out there or like what you've written. And like how do you like objectively say, okay, I can grade this without getting mad. You know, I'm curious about that. I feel like the white male writing teachers that I've encountered in my life tend to think that they're very not great writing is the best thing that they've ever written in the world. Or the best thing that's ever been written. They just think they're amazing and should be teaching writing because read this. So I'm curious if I don't think that all teachers are like that. Clearly, I've not really. I mean, I've opted out of taking classes from those people, just to be clear, because I'm like, I read this thing that you wrote, and I'm embarrassed for you, and you're heralding it as the thing that qualifies you as a teacher. So I'm gonna not take this $400 course from you. The end.
Okay. I have nothing to add to this.
Throw Mama from the train, baby. Which is a song. I kept singing it throughout the movie, and Keith was like, "What
no
are
idea.
you saying?"
No idea.
And I was like, "The song," and he's like, "Is it playing in the movie?" I haven't heard it. And I was like, "No, this song, Throw Mama from the Train." which is what the movie was named after.
Yeah.
The song. But Keith had never heard it before. It has been remedied since.
I have heard it since.
But yeah, at the time I just kept being like, "Throw Mama from the drain," and Keith's like, "What?" I don't remember hearing that in the movie.
That's true.
The end.
I'm sorry. I've hit a wall sometimes.
I just like how you're just looking at me like, mm-hmm. Keith needs to some kibble or something.
Kibbles and bits and bits and bits and bits. Sausages. Remember sausages?
I do.
Y'all remember sausages?
Do you remember? Oh God, what's that thing? The bacon strips. Remember bacon strips? Bacon. POV of the dog. Bacon. Bacon strips.
Dogs are mad for bacon.
They're so dumb they don't know it's not really bacon. Bacon strips for your stupid fucking dumb dog. That's basically what the commercial
Do
said.
yourself a favor if you're ever out in the countryside. Look into the eyes of a dog. The overwhelming stupidity. The immense vapitude.
The flat brains. That's that's actually an impression of Werner Herzog talking about chickens.
I think that's obvious.
But it's literally how he talks about chickens. He's just like the incentives of flat brains.
I don't say this in any kind of insult, by the way. It's with great admiration.
Oh my God.
I wish I didn't have to suffer the complexities of this human existence.
I like that Werner Herzog is basically just a voice in like any cartoon, any like adult.
Yeah, he
cartoon.
seems to have fully embraced his place in the...
Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Drama from the Train is a
That's
movie
our
that we
review
watched.
of the famous Werner
You're
Herzog
welcome.
documentary called My Best
Drama
Fiend.
from the Train.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.